What's up, Doc? Welcome back to Sonic Weekly, the Bugs Bunny fan show. What? No, that's a fun, hilarious prank. It's Hedgehog season. Always Hedgehog season on Sonic Weekly, show about Sonic the Hedgehog and associated interests every 7 days or so. I am Grant, one of your hosts, and with me again, as always, is Bo. Hi, Bo.
Speed me up. Hey, I'm happy to be talking about Sonic with friends again.
Out of the shadows into the spotlight, star of our show, it's David the Lurker. Hello, David.
Whoa, hi Grant, hi Bo. Yep, that's right. Well, I mean, I think we're all in the shadows, depending on where we live right now, because it's the winter. You know, we went through the shortest day, so it's dark. It's dark. I mean, unless you live near the equator.
You're dark. Right. The sun is setting on the year 2025. Things are drawing to a close. We are at the end of things. This is the last time we're going to experience 2025 episodes together. And you know who's going to do it with us? The 2025 star of our show, probably our most frequent guest in 2025, I think. I haven't checked that, but I feel like that's true. It's Ryan Langley. Hi, Ryan.
Hello, and may I say, die, you ugly bastards.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
As is the new word from Shadow in the new leaks.
I'm the most badass hedgehog.
He is.
Has replaced I'm the coolest as the coolest thing you can say.
Yeah. You know what the most badass thing to do is call yourself the most badass hedgehog.
Absolutely.
You know what the most badass thing to do is to get a Shadow the Hedgehog 2005 prototype disc, and then spend a year doing hundreds of rips of it with various CD-ROM and DVD-ROM drives to try desperately to recover the unrecoverable data, then to invent a new low-level image scanning process for DVD-ROM media and create new software that will patch together different bits of the images in order to get a byte-perfect copy of this prototype version of Shadow the Hedgehog, and then find out just after you're done with that another version of it is on sale. Buy that, find out that it's identical to the one you spent a year trying to do, and publish it anyway. Hats off to EHW at Hidden Palace.
Absolutely. Go read that 20,000 word essay on
so good.
the last year of pain those guys have been dealing with.
So badass.
Right. I guess, oh man, I think we just spoiled the top story.
I think that's definitely the top story. It definitely seemed like it took a lot of work, a lot of crazy amount of work and good luck also in a way to find this. We sort of have known that there were extra lines because the voice actors have talked about this at their various con appearances. And I think they've even claimed that they dropped the F-bomb in character at one point. Maybe I'm misremembering or somebody tweeted that and that's off the top of my head. But they have definitely talked about this before, so we sort of knew it was out there, but the Holy Grail has been found and uncovered. But it also seems like, I guess, if it was a movie, you could just reach out to somebody and ask them for it maybe, but not because it's games. It has to be found in this abandoned warehouse, and crazy amount of detective work goes into it. CSI.
Yeah, the Hidden Palace Christmas stream of various Sonic and Sega prototypes was a delight this year. It trolled everybody with a Sonic Schoolhouse prototype to begin with.
Amazing.
I don't think there were any terribly interesting finds in that one of cut content that
should have been. There should have been.
Didn't make the final, but you'll love to see that Sonic Extreme model whenever you can see it.
I do wish they had added cursing to Sonic Schoolhouse. Die, you ugly bastard! If you get the subtraction wrong.
I do think there were some lines referring to E3 stuff that probably have not been heard before, if you're into that. I've looked up this obscure Sonic voice actor before. I think it was the spouse of somebody who worked on the Schoolhouse project. But yeah, I was jazzed about this Hidden Palace thing. I'm checking that surreptitiously during my family gathering, trying to see what the things are.
Right. Ignoring precious childhood memories being formed in front of you so you can find out how
there's simmering temperatures about who was late and who said they were going to be here a certain time and who has to leave early. Like, I'm just going to go check it, the Hidden Palace.
Speaking of simmering, Bo, I feel like over break, you've also had like the second top story. Should we just jump straight to Rings of Saturn out of...
Yeah, play that jingle.
Rings of Saturn.
Rings of Saturn got shoved into the mainstream almost over this Christmas season with the angry video game nerd, who's a prominent YouTuber that I'm not very familiar with because that happened in the time I was not paying attention to games. He did a very nicely produced Christmas video about playing a PlayStation game called E.T. Interplanetary Mission, which you might remember was featured on Rings of Saturn a couple of months ago. We talked about it on the show. And I found inside that game a message hidden inside the credits that you got to put a cheat code to access that says, "Fuck off bin Laden." Osama bin Laden, terrorist leader, being condemned in an ET game, hidden from public view since this game was published. I got comment from the developers who put it in, and it was a big scoop for the Rings of Saturn. And then this AVGN guy, he makes a whole video about it, and no shout out, no link back, no citations to the source material. And so people are asking me, is there a beef? Is Sonic Weekly now beefing with AVGN? Is Rings of Saturn boycotting Cinemassacre? And the answer is no. It's the spirit of the holidays. It's the spirit of Sonic and positivity. And it doesn't matter who's right and who's wrong.
Do the right thing. Do the right thing, AVGN. Do the right thing. What are you doing? We don't need to meet in the street like the end of Lethal Weapon and fight on the lawn where there's sprinklers going off, but there's Christmas lights in the background. So it's like, it's a Christmas movie, but it's also way too violent and it's not fun like Die Hard is fun. It's just pretty off-putting in a lot of ways. We don't need to fight like that. Just give Rings of Saturn the proper credit. That's all. That's all we're saying, is give it a chance to give the credit that is deserved.
Mm-hmm.
I dedicate these discoveries to the people, to the public domain, to whomever wants to use them, credit or no. If you want to link back, that's nice. If you got, millions of subscribers and hundreds of thousands of views within a couple hours, that would be nice. But, are we going to have a beef? We're not going to have a beef. Let's all join together and sing in peace and harmony and, pick your favorite Sonic vocal theme and I'll be right there.
Oh, okay. So Merry Christmas, war is over, is what you're saying.
Merry Christmas, the war is over.
Meanwhile, Grant is like, no, we're going to...
He's like, pick up the hatchet.
I was going to say we could try and guilt him to come on the show, although I don't think he wants to come on. Yeah, he's not a Sonic guy. He's not a Sega guy.
Not a Sonic guy.
No.
As far as we know. I mean...
Sega was... I watched a lot of...
angry for that.
Yeah, I watched a lot of AVGN back in the day. He was not a Sega guy.
The Rings of Saturn continues apace, though. So for Christmas, my prototype contribution got really overshadowed by the Shadow stuff. There's a Dreamcast game, which is notable because it's the only game developed by From Software, the makers of the Souls games. They're very popular. They made one Sega console game called Frame Glide, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Flame Grid, Frame Glide, Flame Glide. I'm not sure. All of those sound cool except for the one they went with. The L's and the R's are a little confusing. But it's a mech fighting game in the style of Virtual On. And so they put out 2 demo discs of this. And as is my wont, I looked in to see if there's anything extra on them. And there is, including a level that didn't make it into the final game. So that was my Christmas Rings of Saturn. You can go check it out after you get through your prototype Shadow.
Thank you, Bo. Thank you, Hidden Palace Zone. Happy Nights Festival to everybody. If you've been playing Sonic Racing Crossworlds and you observe the Christmas Nights. By the way, on our last episode, I had asked if we had played Christmas Nights yet. My wife and we did play Christmas Nights before Christmas and then on the 25th. And, not to brag, but we only became the kids once and almost wanted to turn the game off once per playthrough. as both Elliot and Claris, but we got to the end. I even played through as Sonic and got to the Eggman version of the first
Puffy,
boss
yeah.
of Puffy. Yes, thank you. And so Knights is in Sonic Racing Crossworlds now, and that's fun. That's exciting. Knights is here looking crazy. No alt skins, which is something I was kind of hoping for. Is like you've got sort of the Christmas outfit. Obviously, you've got the original outfit. Mm-hmm. That would be neat if you could choose, but you can't. Nevertheless, Knights is a boost character, and that's fun. They're fun to play as. But I usually still play as other characters.
Ryan, have you played Knights in Crossworlds yet?
I went and downloaded the update and got it all working as soon as possible. Just so I try to jump in and just get all the like unlockable things in the festival that's going on. And Knights is cool. I like that, they have some really unique like their icons, like when you're waiting in the lobby and stuff like that, like their little things are all like references to things that Knights has done, including like some concept artwork where their eyes were bugging out and stuff like that. So it's really good. But yeah, I'm with Grant in that like I'm a bit sad that, and this is just Crossworlds in general, that there just hasn't been much reuse of having costumes for characters. And in this case, it would have been a very easy one to have a red Knights for the Christmas celebration and stuff like that. They have a whole system in there to allow for multiple costumes in this case, but was kind of hoping for that, but alas. Or at the very least, for me personally, I don't really like the Journey into Dreams design for Knights and Riala.
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, but they keep, Riala's not meant to, like, Riala always wears this mask now, which was the mask that they had in Journey into Dreams, but their initial design is just a lot more like simpler, more interesting to me. And so when you see like their characters, when it's like choosing between Riala team, Knights team, or Knightopian team, it's just like, I don't really care for the for the Journey into Dreams design. And if anything, I would have preferred it to be like a Claris, Elliot, and Knights for that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
I guess they don't want the people to be like, oh, why is it Elliot? It should be Helen and God, whoever the guy is. Will. I can't even remember. Will and Helen. Nobody cares about them.
I almost said Troy for Helen or Troy.
Oh, I went to school with a Troy, like elementary school. There was a kid named Troy. Never thought about it.
I live near Troy.
I also lived near a Troy.
I'm sorry to be like this, but can we talk about Knights' Tushy in the game? The behind on Knights is can we talk about it?
You're not the only one noticing this. People have noticed this for years in the Knights community. I think that's actually some of the draw to Knights. Yeah.
The badunk.
Yeah.
That's the technical term, I believe. If you look at the original Japanese
the medical
design.
Term.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it would be weird for Knights to have a nose, but it would also be weird for Knights to not have an articulated two butt cheeks.
Well, think about when you have dreams. How often are you paying attention to people's noses in those dreams? And how often are you paying attention to their gluteus maximus?
Touche.
Case closed, yeah.
Don't you mean tushy? Ha
ha. Oh, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Folks. Well, yes, it is the season of Knights, and it is the end of the year. So we're doing a look back at the biggest stories of the year, right? Is that something that we're doing? Have we covered the stories of the week, David? I don't know if we did that exactly.
Right. I guess the only thing we didn't touch on, because we steamrolled past it last time, because it was like, who cares? What is this teaser? Sonic Rumble is having a Godzilla event, so you can unlock Godzilla and King Ghidorah and someone else.
Mothra in there?
I don't think it's Mothra. No.
How about Jamiroquai? They were on the 90s Godzilla soundtrack, and they had Deeper Underground, which is a really fun song.
There's too much.
I believe I saw a Mothra as like one of the like Chow type followers for you. So it's gotten it's pretty elaborate amount of Godzilla stuff in it. Not surprisingly, but this is, I guess, their first collaboration as part of this. They've done during the beta period, they had some fun ones where you could buy you could get a an Altered Beast were dragon, I think, and maybe an Opa
Nice.
And a Pengu. Pengu? Is that it? Pengo.
Pingo.
Pingo, right.
Pingu's
Pingu
different.
is
Another different penguin.
the newt.
Yes. But this one, they seem to have done quite a lot in terms of Godzilla. Godzilla's not what I'm here for, so but it's there for someone.
Are you guys into Godzilla generally? My main thing with it is it was advertised as the early Dreamcast game in Japan. Yeah. You'd see it in the magazines.
Right, Godzilla Generations.
I've ever cared about.
The prequel to Godzilla. Sonic Generations. I've had brief dalliances. Is that even the word? Probably not. Sure. Brief dalliances with Godzilla over the years. I can't say I've seen every single one, but I've seen a couple of the old ones and a couple of the new ones, and then Godzilla's fine.
I just want it to be monsters stomping around and not like a metaphor for nuclear war.
Well, I think a lot of later ones were definitely just look at this monster, especially in that original era. They all have names. I've since forgot. I used to know the names. I don't anymore. But if you watch ones from the 60s and 70s, that is just men in rubber outfits attacking each other. And there's a semblance of a plot, but nobody cares. My mother was obsessed with the son of Godzilla.
Godzuki?
No, Godzuki's different. Okay. Right. Godzuki was in the original animated Western cartoon, not to be confused with the 90s cartoon, which was a sequel to the 90s movie with Matthew Broderick, which is itself its own universe, even though that version of Godzilla appears as Zilla in Godzilla Final Wars, which ended, I think, the second or third iteration of the Godzilla continuity, because there are multiple Godzilla continuities. Like Godzilla 84 is a sequel to the original Godzilla, but is not a sequel to all the Godzilla movies that happened in between.
I love it when we stumble into a pool of David knowledge.
Right. No, right. Godzilla Final Wars is the end of the third iteration of Godzilla, because Godzilla 2000 kicked off the third Godzilla universe, while Godzilla 84, which was called 85 in the US, because the original US version of Godzilla inserted new footage with an English actor who was named, well, what was his thing? In the movie, his character name was Steve Martin, which of course was before Steve Martin was Steve Martin. But then they brought him back for Godzilla 85, which was the English version of 84, and they still called him Steve Martin. But at that point, Steve Martin was Steve Martin, so there was just this guy named Steve Martin.
Wow. I mean, it's not impossible, but sure. Yeah, it's unusual. Strange.
Right. I almost said Raymond Burr, and I'm like, no, that's the guy who killed Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, easy slip up.
Yeah, it's look. I feel like, well, maybe the actor's name was Raymond something. Look,
I think it's Aaron Burr, right?
Aaron Burr. So maybe it is Raymond Burr. So Raymond Burr's the actor, right? Okay, that's why I got confused. Okay,
there you go.
Grant, get us back on track.
Oh, yeah. Right. So, my answer is the same as David's. I've seen a couple of movies, and they're fun and fine. Yeah. So, okay. Sonic, looking back at the year, we've got a list of the 10 stories that I think are worth looking back on. But I think what is the biggest story of the year has got to be Crossworlds, right? Crossworlds and the DLC was the driving force of the various collaborations of the year, with them being announced in drip feeds, leaks, and then official leaks of the various Paramount characters. We've spent a lot of time talking about Crossworlds. In fact, just a moment ago, we were talking about Crossworlds. And we'll be talking about Crossworlds, I suspect, for a lot of 2026 as well, because we don't know the full DLC roster. It's still a fun game. I am not yet at the highest level. I'm not. I have an A. I think I'm past A-, but I don't have like Legend 1 or whatever it is. But still having fun, enjoying it, and feel like I'm going to keep playing it for a long time. So I haven't 100% completed it, but anything to say about it looking back on it. I mean, is it the best of the racers? It's certainly worth asking that question.
It's either one or two.
Right. I mean, I guess the grand competition is between Transformed and this one and Crossworlds.
Right. The first one is cool. Yeah. Team Sonic Racing is a fun mode within this game.
Right. But it should have never been the main draw, which it was in Team Sonic Racing. I mean, it's hard to say. I think since we're still in that world of they're adding new characters, we don't know what the full thing is. Are they going to do another wave after? Like, if this game continues to be successful, we might get a wave of DLC, paid DLC after all the Paramount people are done. And maybe they'll be like, oh, we'll keep on going for a while. And at that point, maybe you could make the argument this game is the one to choose between Transformed. Also, Crossworlds is being supported. Transformed, I know, on PC doesn't always work if you don't, you know.
Yeah, this is my first positive experience playing a Sonic racing game online.
Yeah,
easily.
It's one of the best things about it is that just how fast it actually loads. Like they must have done so much work to make like the game like have to load both the main track and then two other possible tracks within itself. And so like they've just like really crunched down the data for this game to like make it actually like easy. And like it just like trying to load Team Sonic Racing on PC now, it feels like it still takes like 15, 20 seconds, while this takes like 5. Like it's just so fast.
Yeah.
For Hedgeblog, I went back and I've been playing through all of them, particularly just trying to find like weird things like Roulette Road has been a mainstay in every single one of these. So I went back for Hedgeblog and like extracted the textures from that level to see what has actually changed across each one of these iterations.
Has anything?
It has. Like the new one is definitely like completely different, but like definitely had a like the way that they would draw like the poker machines and like the spinners, like the way they drew the 7, clearly did it this way. And it's like there's like SD like Wii textures and HD textures. Then it's in All Stars Racing Transformed as like one of the extra bonus levels, and then it's in Team Sonic Racing as well. And then there's a new iteration in the new one, but basically a lot of the textures were similar.
Yeah, I assume they liked that one because they had the assets and they could just import them into the new thing and use them. But you're saying they redrew it for
in this one. It's very different, but it is actually quite interesting in some of the instances, because we did find, like, for example, the Aptos level in Crossworlds literally just actually uses textures from Unleashed for like signs and stuff. So part of the way to like maybe make this a little easier for them is like, what if we did that? Like, what if we just hey, I don't need to redraw this sign again, but I really want to have this level in here. Let's just do it that way. And
yeah, I've assumed they've been doing that with like Sky Sanctuary and Ocean Gate or whatever the Heroes opening level is called.
But like those have been a little bit different, but definitely like inspired. I know that again with like Casino, the Roulette Road background from the original All Stars Racing is just the Heroes background. So like they've been reusing some of those textures, but it was like up-res or something like that. But having played some of those old ones, like I really, really like Transformed. I feel Crossworlds is better. I do love Transformed and just how much it cares about every franchise that it's doing. Like the Panzer Dragoon track is great. Yes. Like the Burning Rangers level, especially of like just like the attention to detail on like remaking this weird Saturn level from this game. Yeah. The way that they did a lot more with that level, it's like, oh, the water raises in every single like lap that you do was really, really cool. The one thing just playing it back now has been like some of the levels are just a little too long. Like the tracks are actually kind of long. And the ones in Crossworlds are definitely shorter, but also because the second one is always different, it just gives you that little bit of variety that you just kind of forgot about it. And so I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, with Transformed, it's so hard. You need that extra length to be able to like work your way up in the
And with some
ranks.
cases, like a Dragon Road, for example, it's a level which they don't have to figure out a way to like make it go back again. Like it can just be a really fun like one way through. Like you don't have to go through the giant phoenix again in this instance, right? It's just like this is just a one-off. So I think Cross Worlds has definitely been like a big exciting one for me.
It's a cool concept. It kind of builds on what Transformed was doing and does something that is unique to a racer. Who is your main or top two most chosen characters? And are you a boost or a speed, power, acceleration?
I ended up playing, weirdly enough, the egg pawn a bunch.
Oh yeah,
just because I just usually like the character that is the most annoying in a racing game. Like in All Stars Racing, I would play as Robo and Moto, the Bonanza brothers, just because like, why are these guys here? This makes very little sense. But I have been playing a lot of Knights now, and I like them. I do just switch it up with vehicles. I think I do a lot of the acceleration vehicles or the extreme gears. And I'm glad that, the fact that they even have the extreme gears in this is like one of the things with Team Sonic Racing, which I didn't like, is that it just didn't kind of care about anything. It was like, It was just like, okay, sure. It's just 15 characters. We have to have these teams. The teams don't make sense. Zavok's here for some reason. We couldn't put Cream in here to make, the team rows or whatever.
No SBO.
No SBO. And I do love that Cross Worlds, they tried putting a story in Team Sonic Racing and it's a stupid bad story and they shouldn't have done it. But the amount of story that's in this with just two little quips from people talking back and forth is so much more fun and interesting than anything that was in Team Sonic Racing. Like just the, Cream telling Vector, haha, my mum might be mad if you don't let me win. He's like, what? You can't do that to me. Oh, man.
It's really fun. I'm glad you brought it up because it was so irritating in Team Sonic Racing. I don't know what it was, but I think I ended up turning it off. Or like it was just too much chatter and too corny. Like it was like Sonic being like, ugh, epic fail. And it was just kind of a little off. Whereas here, it feels much more organic to the characters and it's fun to hear characters who don't usually interact. And it's just a fun little Easter egg. It's not too much. It's not too in your face.
In Team Sonic, he's like, water, way to go. If some, and that sort of thing.
Right. Everything's like a overly raw pun.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that was the last Pontiac and Graf outing, right? Like I'm pretty sure they wrote Team Sonic Racing.
But this is like, after that, I guess was Ian jumping on.
Yeah.
From that. But like even in Crossworld, stuff like what the Babylon rogues say when they're doing tricks is actually the names of tricks from Sonic Riders that would just appear on the screen that you wouldn't have even read half the time or even cared. So you're just trying to care about if it said XX landing or whatever. But like that's an attention to detail to these characters that's just like has been needed for a while. And so I just really appreciate like these deep dives into these characters and what they can do here.
Bo and David, same question, but also if we want to just move on to another story, David, do you want to pick it?
Oh, let's see. I'll spin the wheel. Oh, look at that wheel spin. I'm going to be predictable. Why don't we talk about DC / Sonic very briefly? Whoa.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, it is in a year of crossovers and collaborations, this is the one that has been the most high profile, the most prominent, and had the most oomph and money and effort and time and media space put behind it. You go to Target now and you'll see toys of the DC Sonic crossover with Sonic as Flash, Shadow as Batman, Silver as Green Lantern, sometimes in a pack with Darkseid.
Yeah.
And I think at various sizes, possibly. There may be like a larger version and a smaller version. I don't know.
Yeah, there's like the full-size figures and there's a little blind bag figures, which are shorter.
Thank you. And there was a comic series written by Ian Flynn,
right,
who we were just talking about, but yet absent from Crossworlds, at least for now.
For now, I mean, it feels like if all of the if it was all front loaded with the world of Paramount, we've had SpongeBob, we're still waiting on the Turtles and Avatar. I know everyone is chomping at the bit for them in the world of Sonic. So if this wave is Paramount focused, maybe, especially since we don't know what the future of the printed medium of DCX Sonic is going to be. Presumably, we're getting more. It ended on a cliffhanger. We know that there's more toys coming. Some of them have already started trickling out. Rouge's Catwoman, Eggman in the old Lex Luthor outfit, like the green battle armor.
Mm-hmm.
That implies that they're writing more. So maybe whenever that launches, that's when the Warner Brothers crossing over will happen again, and we'll get some Sonic as the Flash. Still driving in a car, not running, but
do you think Bugs Bunny and the rest of Multiverses,
mm-hmm.
Arya Stark, Gandalf, Adventure Time, Austin Powers?
Yeah.
If Paramount acquires WB, then we're going to get DCX Sonic movie.
Oh, right. Well, I don't think that's happening. I feel like Netflix is that's locked in at this point. I really don't see how Paramount can interrupt.
I'll bet against you.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
whoa!
Stay tuned to this show to see how this bet pays off. This bet brought to you by nobody.
All right.
By the show itself, by you, the listener.
Is this the point where I go, well, Warner Brothers probably shouldn't be on sale at all because it's just one giant corporation buying another giant corporation, and I believe that we do have certain laws that are meant to stop the certain monopolies from occurring, and but that doesn't matter because
that wasn't the bet.
No, I think what the bet is that we, Sonic Weekly, should buy Warner Brothers and Paramount
and AVGN.
Yeah, we can re-release this movie. Have you ever watched this? Well, you haven't watched any of it apparently.
No,
this is honestly the first I've learned about AVGN was seeing the ET video.
Right. So you missed the golden age, and you missed the movie, and you missed all the Monster Madness. He loves Godzilla movies too. It all ties together, I think, is what I'm saying.
Ryan, did you interact with DC X Sonic in the comics or the toys or the?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a DC fan at all?
I did with both. I am a collector of all Sonic comics. I have all the Archies. I have almost all Sonic the comics. So I had to get all the DC cross Sonics, and like those were really fun. Like they not a whole lot happens, but it's more of just a setting up of like, yes, isn't it fun if Sonic is in the DC world, and the fact that like, look, Superman's just a god, like Eggman just can't actually deal with him whatsoever. Like he's like, dude, I'm trying to, I need some gravitas, I need some back and forth here, and Superman's just like, no, stop it. I have been getting the toys as well, and part of that is just the hassle with Jack-specific toys generally, and even trying to figure out where they are and what you can do to get them, if they're showing up. Like I have the whole initial set of like Batman, Shadow, Flash, Sonic, Green Lantern, Silver, Amy, Wonder Woman, and then I got like they've done like packs with regular Superman and like a small Knuckles and what have you. But now there's like we've now been seeing a 5-inch Tails as Cyborg, and I think Amy and Wonder Woman pack, and now there's like as you said, like Catwoman, Rouge, and Eggman, Lantern, and there's like another different Chase figure of a more 60s-ish Batman, Shadow, which basically just means he's just a lighter blue. But
yeah.
Yeah, I did get the Chase one for the Amy Wonder Woman one because on the back of the box you could just tell what number it was. And like, oh, that's that one. Okay, but now they've changed it, so now I need to actually. I don't know. People are like, oh, you have to feel it out. Can you feel Shadow's shoes through the plastic or something like that? I don't know if I'll get that far. We'll see.
People love feeling Shadow's shoes, I guess.
The Shadow Batman toy that I have, his chest lights up.
Yes.
The bat emblem. You press the bat emblem and it lights up. My question to you is, okay, so we know that Roger Craig Smith is the actor for Sonic, and he's also been voice actor for Batman in Batman Arkham Origins. So my question to you is, pick a Batman actor, live action actor, so you can't pick Kevin Conroy, to voice Sonic.
I can't pick Val Kilmer, unfortunately.
Or Adam West.
Right.
who's still
West.
around?
Michael Keaton. You got George Clooney, Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson. You know, he's
That's true.
I think he's got to be the answer,
Probably,
right?
I don't think.
Right. Although it'd be funny to have Michael Keaton be Sonic, I think.
Yeah.
Or even Clooney. That would just be such a bad miscast.
He's so good as Fantastic Mr. Fox, you know, and that's kind of a character that's not dissimilar to Sonic's vibe. A little older, certainly.
Right. Oh, so he could play Uncle Chuck.
Ah, there it is. Well, we talked about DCX Sonic, right?
Yes.
Bo, I know that your
Good
take
time.
on DCX Sonic is which one is Spider-Man. So
yes.
I will say to you, will you spin the wheel next and pick the next story from the top stories of 2025? Sonic related.
Chow Tales. Nice little series of short cartoons, several episodes, no real dialogue in them. You got the Sonic Chow, you've got the Shadow Chow, you've got a loose arc developing, and each of them delightful individually, but taken together kind of leaves me feeling empty because I wish it was just one long actual cartoon versus these shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish it was leading up to something with, you know, the Chow mobile game or the Chow Garden in Crossworlds or, I don't know, Chow Rumble. Man, why was Sonic Rumble not just the Chow competition from Sonic Adventure?
Yeah.
So,
there are no playable Chow. They just follow you. Also, I had a flash in my head. Right. They could have been in Crossworlds as like, instead of just being like a little go-kart for kids, like a little, like that could be the mini mode for the Chow, just driving
or even
around.
in this case, the other thing that like has been sort of keep just going in the background that we've mostly ignored, I think, as fans, is the Sonic and Friends stuff, which is just like it's more on TikTok and they're just Sonic dancing, these little chibi Sonics and Tails dancing, but like that could have also just as easily have been like Chows. Like they could have just gone all in on Chows and had them be a Sonic Chow and a Tails Chow and all that sort of stuff, I think, as well. I think that would have been, you know, a new unique take on that stuff and keep the Chow stuff alive in some way.
Right. Would you want to be a Chow?
Be a water baby. What would if I could like kiss a parrot and get flying abilities, that would be great. That would be real cool. And just slowly become like your favorite character in some way. I think actually one of the things I was trying to think about, especially with Chow, was the sad thing kind of was that it never evolved where like we got Chow versions of other characters and stuff. And I actually did look it up, and there actually kind of has been in the Sonic Speed Simulator stuff where they have had like a Rouge Chow and stuff like that, because they can just go, here, you just collect this rather than it being like a thing you raise. But like, I would love to have seen like they never, even in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, you didn't get the cat Chow and stuff like that. But like that would be fun because they're basically just Sonic Funko Pops in one way or another. And if they were like that, then it would be, you know, a way to like monetize or like make all the characters, but in this Chow-like system too.
Right.
I liked Chow Tales. It was fun during the season of Chow Tales as they were releasing. I do wish it was kind of, you know, like Bo said, that it was maybe just one 20-minute, you know, I don't know, maybe that's too long, 10, 15-minute short would have been neat. Because I know that David and I especially, would overthink them and like overanalyze like the like morals or the implied message where there really wasn't necessarily one of like, wait, who's bullying who with Sonic and like the Chows. But no, they were really funny and like delightful and very charming shorts. And yeah, I mean, it's like Bo said, it's just the frustration is just like, well, to what end? So we're all ready here. The wallets are open. You're driving the ice cream truck, but there's nothing inside. You got to have the ice cream. If you're going to put the ice cream lights on and play the ice cream music, God, this metaphor is so good.
It is. It makes me want to get some ice cream.
There was a final one, right? There was like a Halloween or Christmas one.
Yeah.
Yes.
It came out a little bit after they put them all together as one episode, and then they went, here's a bonus one, just like with Media Adventures.
And that one had like, I think I like the attention to detail that like the Chow that was lazy but then goes really fast is actually a Chow in like Sonic Adventure 2. Chaklon, who's just like a notorious thing. But like I know that like some of the Chow fans out there are just like that's like etched in their brain. And I think the only thing really with the release of them and like being short was like initially all of them were in like only in short like YouTube shorts type where it's like white, tall screens. That's just it's not how I watch videos. But I was glad at the very least that they were in fact widescreen, that they did release them after the fact.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. That is true that they did ultimately stitch them together. But yeah, maybe in the future they could do something that is that length and broken apart later. Could do it the opposite way. I don't know, just a thought. But yeah, Chow Tales was cool. Anyway, Ryan, you if you don't mind being the next to select one that you think is worth talking about in the year of Sonic 2025.
I would like to talk about the Pac-Man World 2 levels.
Yes.
I did buy that game.
They were difficult.
Did buy that game. I didn't play it except for the Sonic bits. And so
what?
I was like, I'm going to pay $30 for this just so I can get the DLC or whatever. But it's fascinating because it is very much just we got a whole bunch of Generations assets and then made a Pac-Man level out of it. And it's just kind of fascinating that happened. I'm surprised even that it has the Green Hill music from Generations, because I imagine that actually costs a little bit more because of Dreams Come True and the like as well.
It's not knockoff Green Hill.
I guess Bandai Namco has the scratch.
I guess so.
And that's maybe why the boss theme is like the Death Egg theme from Sonic 2 for all of the bosses.
Sega didn't even pay for it for Rumble.
Oh, that's true.
No.
But it's also really hard. Like, it's weird being Pac-Man, who's kind of slow, just sort of trotting through a Sonic level and then occasionally being able to go fast. It's a lot of like, it feels like they had, this is the Sonic level, and we put a bunch of floating boxes to go up and around here to get out. But then the boss battle is like brutally long. Has like 3 different versions of it, which you have to go through. Like each of the 3 bosses has 3 phases to it, and it's kind of hard. But it's just fascinating that they did that. They added all these statues into the gacha for you to collect as well. So you can collect a Knuckles and an Amy statue. But it is. I mean, I'd like to see more of that kind of collaboration of like, if anything, just like reusing assets from one game, putting it into another, and just seeing how you go with it. I think that's just kind of a fascinating thing that would just hopefully just allow for like more of that stuff. And like, this isn't the first time Pac-Man has switched around with Sonic either, because Pac-Man was in Sonic Dash years ago, and Sonic went into the Pac-Man app on the iPhone as well, where they had like sprites of Sonic that would go onto the map instead. So there's been a weird long collaboration with Pac-Man, even though I think Pac-Man's at least 10 years older in this case.
Right. Do you think that Sonic stole away Miss Pac-Man, and that's why
with Pac-Mom
now Pac-Mom is Pac-Man's? Yeah, like Sonic was like, "Hey, Miss Pac-Man, I really like your bow." Of course, that gets Amy infuriated because she had a bow. This is the end of the fanfic right now. I'm afraid to go any further.
I've actually just been, for my video game art archive website, I've been scanning in a coloring book from 1982 called Pac-Man Paint with Colors. And it has all this artwork from that time, mostly from, weirdly, the Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man pinball game, I think. But it has it has Pac-Man, it has Miss Pac-Man, it has them having at their wedding, I guess. It has the stork coming and delivering baby Pac-Man. Because we can't talk about, we can't go too deep on this. We need, the kids. They can't know how people procreate. But it's just a fascinating thing of just like very early on, like we don't really know much about Pac-Man, but someone's gonna have to draw something.
Right. I mean, to be fair, I don't fully understand how Pac people procreate. So, like,
well, yeah, that and how the ghosts come to be, those are both very vague. We don't think about those
Are
things.
they real ghosts? Or are they like just a species that is ghost? Will Pac-Man one day become a ghost and become his greatest enemy? Just like will one day Mario become a Boo? These are the philosophical questions that we are not diving enough into on this podcast.
That's it.
At my school, there was a live action Pac-Man game that people would play on the central courtyard during finals week. It was a delight. Some people were ghosts, some people were Pac-Man. There were things you had to pick up.
Well,
safe zones.
Fun. How?
Yeah.
When was this? You said how?
When I was in college.
In college. Wow.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
4 years.
Yeah. Just
Pac-Man's still in the zeitgeist. You were sitting
always
there.
in the zeitgeist. It was fresh off of that. Well, not that fresh, but it was off that Pixels heat that it. Pac-Man was on the poster.
I went to an engineering school. There were people making their own custom Dance Dance Revolution dance mats.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of video game stuff happening.
Pretty wild. And yet you weren't plugged into it, into the world of Sonic.
I was ignoring all of it. I was studying.
Yeah, very studious.
They were having watch parties of the AVGN, and you could have said, hey, one day he's going to not cite something I discovered.
One day I'm not going to have a beef with that guy.
Yeah.
Zero beef. All Rolling Rock. That's the beer he drinks. It's a thing.
Well, okay. Yeah. Also, just want to underline once again that those DLC levels were difficult. A lot of bottomless pits. More bottomless pits than you've ever seen in Green Hill Zone in your life. And Pac-Man navigates it successfully. Okay, I'm going to spin the wheel next myself and bring up Professor Tori. Wow, what a story that was. In the beginning part of the year, Professor Tori was a character that was introduced in a Tales Tube episode, but this was a character that fans had been speculating on for months, maybe years. I forget the timeline. Years? Yeah. Okay. It was, because she appeared in
the first Tales Tube. She's amongst all the Art of the Sonic Unleashed NPCs, and it's like, well, who's that? That's someone new.
Right,
yeah.
When Tails is explaining that humans generally live in the cities on the continents, and you see familiar faces like Professor Pickle, and then also this mysterious person who we learn is Professor Tori. And I think Professor Tori also has a little cameo in Sonic Movie 3.
Yep. In Tokyo.
Yes. When Shadow's like, I'm Keanu Reeves. You see her, you see a date. The date didn't mean anything. But she was there, and then finally we got her. God, I don't remember exactly how long after that. It was a lot of buildup for not much payoff, at least so far. Maybe there could be a long game. We don't know.
She was kind of just the straight man to Tails, right? Like, he's telling about his fantastical adventures. She's saying, I'm not so sure about all of this.
Right, because I guess
lore.
She slept through all of Sonic Unleashed for some reason.
It's a fascinating thing to like put a lot of effort into hiding a character that ultimately doesn't really, is like for putting him into the movie just to have them be like a Sonic on a Sonic Tails tube. I wonder whether or not there is like a larger story they were looking at, or maybe didn't pan out as much, or maybe whatever the next game is has this character in it. But
well, I was wondering, do you think she was cut out of Unleashed or something? Like she's not actually a new character; she's an old character.
Right.
I think it's a new character because we've seen so many like bits like that, but like it's not Professor Pickle. Like that would have been the go-to really to have like a Tails tube is like have a guy come back and play Professor Pickle about eating cucumber sandwiches, or Pickles, the protege or whatever, whoever that guy was.
Right.
Or even just have like a Sonic Man.
Oh man, I totally would have been into Sonic Man because then he could be like, "Oh hey Tails, it's me Sonic," and it's like, you're not Sonic.
That character is so good.
He is good.
Professor Tori is a very funny character as well to like spotlight because she's essentially just gaslighting you, the audience. Tails is being like, "Oh, so here's what happens in Sonic Frontiers," and she's like, "I don't think so." It's like, "No, but I played it. Like I was there. This is what happened." Like,
right?
Doubt it. She's just like the mayor in Ghostbusters or the EPA guy. Just like, what are you talking about?
But at least it makes sense in Ghostbusters, the first one, because there's no precedence. Like, they discover at the end of that movie that ghosts are real in a very real way. It doesn't make sense in Ghostbusters 2 that they're once again saying, this is bullshit. It's like, no, did you not see the stave popped? He was in New York. It's the 80s. Cable television exists. They were definitely filmed. What are you talking about? That's beside the point. Professor Tori, it's funny, but she also doesn't make sense. That's why I'm kind of sitting and waiting and wondering if maybe she's meant to have a bigger role either in the next game, or it feels like they've got to have something else planned for her. Not we teased this so that she would show up and be like, "Tails, you're crazy," but everyone knows that Tails is not crazy, and then we never talk about her again. She has been strangely absent since that episode.
That is true.
I don't know. I know there was some speculation that maybe she's related to the Robotnik lineage, that perhaps she's the daughter of Maria's mysterious sibling, but there's definitely been no confirmation there. Maybe there will never be. Maybe she is just Tori. What's the story on Tori?
Yeah, that seems about right. Should we spin the wheel again? I mean,
yeah. Unless
right. It's your turn, yeah? Okay.
I'm spinning it. Oh, God. You know what? Let's go right down. What is this? We're going to talk about Sonic Blitz because there's nothing to talk about with Sonic Blitz. It'll be over soon. Because it isn't out for most of us. I guess if you pretend you're in the Philippines or you are in the Philippines, you can play it. It's a card game. There's a lot of things about Archie characters that and Sonia and Manic that aren't in the game still. It's in the purgatory that Rumble used to be in.
That's the most I've heard about it.
Ryan, you were saying something that I thought was interesting before we started recording, which is it's actually common to launch a game in a region like the Philippines first. Is that right?
Yeah. So I worked on mobile games for a long time, and especially for free-to-play games, like we would have a game that we're working on for like a year or more in soft launch. And part of that soft launch is trying to find, without fully releasing it entirely across the world, finding places where we can find players similar to what we think are going to be like the main people who are going to be spending in this game. And in this case, the Philippines, Singapore, are usually some good ones. New Zealand as well. Places where you can kind of release it in English without having to like translate it into the eFigs or all the 16 languages that we sort of try to do now, because things are going to go completely change. Like they've been changing this game constantly. It used to be like a dual lane game. Now it's a single lane. I've not played it, but I just keep watching the updates on Blue Sky that people are like downloading it and trying out and stuff like that. So yeah, it's the regular thing is to release it in a smaller continent where you might be able to go, okay, the amount of people that we can pay to put ads out in those locations to get people to download the game to then see if they will spend and then pivot from that part.
Yeah, I guess the English speaking factor makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe this is a Rovio game. I'm not exactly sure what the full development behind it is.
Yeah, I believe it is part of Rovio.
Yeah, and so they've done like a lot of similar stuff with like Angry Birds. Like, there's been Dream Blast and various other like puzzle games that they've sort of worked on in the past. This one definitely is a fascinating one just because of just the characters that they're pulling here, which is exciting to me, where they've got Dr. Furikov from Tales Adventure as a 3D model, and someone had to go, what the hell does this guy even look like? Because for a very long time, the artwork online that was used for that, like all those Tales Adventure characters are things I scanned like 10 years ago and tried to make high resolution, to the point where like Encyclopedia just uses the artwork I did, because I can tell that they still had like the spots from scans that I did from those versions and stuff.
Wow.
Well, until I found the Versus mode in Burning Rangers, the only pictures of it were the scans you made of Sega Saturn magazine.
Oh, yeah. But like, if they're going to go crazy with these characters, like it's had Vanilla, I think, as a character in it, and like Vanilla doesn't really have a 3D model. Like she's never really been in a 3D sense. I think for like a Mother's Day post, they made actual art of her for the social media channel. Like this is the first actual official artwork of her in some fashion, without it being like, just a background character or something like that. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff that I'm curious if if it does come out and it does do well, are they going to continue like really pulling from, these deep crevices of stuff? Like it does mention, it seems like they just ripped everything from the Sonic Wiki. So it does have Sonia and Manic from Sonic Underground. Knowing Sega, that ain't going to happen. That is, that is 100. The chance of that happening is so incredibly low that I don't. That it is.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's the ever so slightest chance, but just knowing some of the people there, it's like we can't even talk about this most of the time. I believe. Who knows who owns what in any of that stuff, and even Archie comics and stuff like that. Like, well, let's just never mention them again. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So, Bo, where are we going next?
Let's do the Sonic Rumble of it all. And we've talked about this fairly recently. We had our live stream of it. I mentioned before, and I'll mention it again. To me, Rumble is going to live on for a very long time because of the music. They knocked it out of the park with the soundtrack. And really, that's all I need out of it. I gave it my playthrough, and I don't think I'm going to do another, but that playlist is permanent.
Hear, hear.
It is an interesting game in that Sonic, in Fall Guys-ish stuff. It has a lot of content. Mm-hmm. They've built the treadmills to make the content. Mm-hmm. With all the like little emotes and stuff like that. And
something I meant to say the last time we talked about it and didn't is, everybody wants Sonic mini games. You got Sonic Shuffle, it's got all these mini games. You got Sonic Rumble, it's got all these mini games. No, all we need is just like play a couple of acts of a Superstars level or a Sonic 3 and Knuckles level. Those should be the mini games. That should be the party game. Is Green Hill Act 2 restricted subset, collect 200 rings. Like it's all sitting right there. Just classic Sonic in small bits.
I could definitely see them doing. It'd be fun to make a whole bunch of like sprite based mini games.
Yeah.
So I guess that does limit your characters in that sense. Or it actually is probably harder for them to make a Surge sprite and put Surge into that rather than like make a model and place it over the base character rig and stuff like that they have.
My major complaint is just that I wish it was on consoles. Just the mobile. It is on Steam.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is kind of fascinating. I'm glad that it is on Steam. I feel like they realize that like to get people streaming this game, they can't play it through a phone. They need some way. And especially the user interface for the game is absolutely not made for a console or a controller. It is very, very click. You have to click so many things to collect 5 different rewards, where the button to collect the reward is in a different spot each time, which frustrates me as a user experience designer, where it's just trying to make you click on a million different things rather than just tell me everything.
You might accidentally click a button and spend $6 on some red rings, and then you'll...
Yep, pretty much. But all the dark patterns that you can sometimes see as part of UX that tries to make you do things that you don't actually want to do. But yeah.
David, have you played any more Rumble, or should Ryan spin the wheel next?
I have probably played more Rumble than anyone in this here. On Steam, I have 5 of the 11 achievements that are presented, which means you've played this a bit too much, haven't you? I made it into what they called the Platinum League, which just means you played it longer than some other people in an arbitrary group. And I'm like, that's great.
I was talking to someone in the Platinum League.
The Platinum League.
I didn't realize that.
But also, that's because at first I was like, maybe I'm going to play this a lot. I want to see what's up with it. Just like in short, like 20-minute bursts every day. But then I've kind of stopped. But I still have played it probably more than most. I think there's something about weird mobile games that itch something in my brain. And there are some that I will just be like, I guess I got to play this all the time, every single day. There was a time when I was addicted to a game called Gardenscapes, which is just a match 3 game. It's just Candy Crush. It's just like every other. But for some reason, I was like, man, what's this butler doing? I got to know what this butler's doing. Who cares?
Movie 4, Universe movie.
Right. So, the first part of this year, Sonic Movie 3 came out towards the end of last year. So a lot of the beginning, the early 2025 was tracking the box office, and then the streaming release, the physical release, and then it was confirmed that Sonic 4 was greenlit, and then later in the year, more recently, the Sonic quote-unquote universe event movie, whatever that means, was also announced and confirmed.
Exactly.
I hope they can turn it around more quickly than a full production Hollywood film. Feels like it's going to be a long time till 2027 for the Sonic 4. And so if that means it has to be animated, okay, cool, I'm down with that. If that means it's different voice cast, great. That Sonic Prime cast sounded pretty good to me. See what they're doing. Let's have it. That's what I'm saying. I've got a kid in the right age range. We want to go to the cinema.
All right. You don't want them to age out, because if they do, you're going to be stuck buying all the Sonic stuff for yourself. Oh. Right. And if you get too desperate, you could have a third.
Yeah, I'll talk to my wife about that.
The curious thing for me, I guess, right now is that we've got Sonic 4, that's coming in 2027. This universe film's going in 2028. I would have to imagine it's a shadow film, because I don't really see, they're not going to do a Sonic Riders spin-off film or something along those lines. My worry, and like this is just generally with stuff, but like usually after even mostly after movie 2, things fall off a cliff. 3, we got very lucky, I think, with it actually being like about the thing that we want to finally actually watch, which is Sonic and Shadow and living and learning and so forth. 4, we're finally going to get Amy and Metal Sonic in it, which seems really cool as well. But if they're trying to make a Sonic movie 5, like how far can we go and this still actually be good? Is Jim Carrey going to be in 4 or 5? Or like, what's the bad guy in this situation? Like, can Jim Carrey continue doing this till Sonic movie 10?
How old will he be?
We're in uncharted waters, really, because Jim Carrey was not known for doing sequels. In fact, he was known for not doing sequels. And then the Sonic movies seemed to be the thing that he was hoping maybe...
a series of unfortunate events.
yeah, that movie franchise didn't continue, but he was saying about like finding a villain character that could do a franchise, and finally he found it with Robotnik Eggman. There was a poll that came out this past week or at some point of like the favorite characters of the Japanese audience, and Silver is the number 3 character, and Mephiles from Sonic 06, who's now also in toys that you can find at Target. Mephiles from Sonic 06. Our children will grow up in a world where Mephiles from Sonic 06 is widely known and available. And gosh, how about that? So maybe there is, Silver and the Mephiles 06 story to come in for 5, I guess. Unless, a lot of fans are speculating that that'll be 4. 4 will be like CD plus 06 because there's both time travel and maybe it could work. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, it would probably not be great if they had 2 different time travel films. But it's also a case of like once you do time travel in a film, it's usually that's when they run out of ideas. And they say, we have to fix something because we've screwed up the film before this. But in this case, they did not. Like what they've got right now is totally fine. It's just a case of like, okay, is there a little planet? And they go do that. I mean, they didn't even really do like, they didn't even do the floating island. So, none of this has to be anywhere. It could just be purely time travel if they want to do that. Maybe figuring out where all these people coming through rings come from generally, because they haven't really like mentioned that stuff. Though it's similar, I guess, to like the Mario film, where the Mario film's like, look, there's 7 distinct places, and this is where all the people are. There's the Donkey Kong area, the Yoshi area, and now it's like, stuff that, we're going up in space. It doesn't matter. We're just going up. We're just going completely different in a different direction with all this sort of stuff. So,
yeah. I mean, either way, I'm looking forward to whatever they do. I'm up for time travel. Why, as long as it's not, here's time travel and we can use it every single time to fix something. If it's a one and a done or MacGuffin that vanishes, there's many things you could do. But I'm all. No,
I want like that very satisfying time travel story thing where something that happens turns out to be caused by them in a different part of the time stream, and really everything is all perfectly consistent. And then there's like some aspect of it that doesn't make sense because of the time loop. Like, give me one of those.
So Sonic invents himself by traveling so fast that he creates a giant ring around the universe. That's why it's rings, and that's why it terraforms the Earth to have loop-de-loops, which are in the shape of rings. So Sonic creates a world where he will thrive by thriving. And then he slips on a banana peel. Okay, so there's one story left, really, which is Sonic Unleashed Recompiled, the fan game. That was from earlier in the year. That was a story that I had no real connection to, except for, I think it was last year in 2024 where I finished Sonic Unleashed. I don't think that was a 2025 story. I have no real plans to go back to Unleashed.
Yeah, well, we started talking about a Sonic fan going to great lengths to learn an aspect of engineering that most people would not learn in order to do something cool with Sonic. And, whether it's preserving Shadow the Hedgehog or making Unleashed easier to play.
Yeah.
Godspeed to these people who are getting university level educations for these purposes.
Well said. Any last thoughts on 2025, Ryan?
It was a good year. 2024 and 2025 have been really solid years for Sonic stuff. There was like the Sonic and Shadow generations. Like even Crossworlds had like a really cool like animated thing, which kind of didn't hit nearly as hard as Shadow's one did because it didn't, hit into the lore as much. But like there's that sort of stuff. Coming into 2026 now, like who knows if there's going to be a new Sonic game generally outside of just Blitz or usually, I mean, they've usually tried to have something each year, and what that would be this year, not a clue. But I think hopefully it's a time for celebration, a time for like reflection, and keep doing that, and don't mess it up again, please. I want this to be a nice, particularly in the world that we're in right now. I need a positive place that's just fun. IDW Comics as well, like, you know, they're doing really well. They're going to have Sage pop into the actual continuity in there next year too. So I'm excited for everything that we might be able to see these next 6 months at least.
Thank you for joining us again, Ryan, and thanks for your time, everybody. And thank you, David.
Oh yeah, because you can hear the music playing. The people who are playing the song, we don't play the recording. We actually source the original musicians. They come in every week, play it live, and we have yet to pay them. But that's okay, because they do it for the love of the game, the love of Sonic Unleashed, and that's why it was recompiled. It's because of these people. I don't know. Look, all I'm saying is, it's the end of 2025. We're heading into 2026. And so we're not just at the end of an episode, we're at the end of a year. So, whoa, if you've enjoyed the world of Sonic the Hedgehog in 2025 and you want to stay plugged in week after week, month after month, you want to know what's going on, that's what we're here for. And if you haven't done so already, you should subscribe to this podcast using your podcatcher of choice, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or for the Android faithful, Podcast Addict. Whatever you use, leave a rating, leave a review. It helps us in the magical algorithm that no one understands. And but if you reject all podcatchers, I don't blame you if you do. We're also over on YouTube. We're at Sonic-Weekly. You can like, comment, subscribe, and our voices are joined as always by game footage recorded by friend of the show, Jack of Old Games. What's he playing this time? I guess he could play everything. I don't know. Because everything that happened this year, every game, not just Sonic game, he should play every single video game that was released this year. That won't make him lose his mind. Let's see, what else is going on? Oh, right. Hey, reach out to the show. SonicWeeklyPodcast@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We do have something in the mailbag that we're ready to get to. It's the end of the year. We don't have time. We don't even have time to talk about Ken Penders in this episode. We should have time to talk about Ken Penders in every episode. But that's how jam-packed we are right now. But, let us know what's up. And it's the only way to get a link to our Discord server. Ask for it, we'll send it off to you, and soon enough you'll be talking to some like-minded Sonic the Hedgehog fans about many things up to and including Sonic the Hedgehog. Whoa, who would have guessed that? Yeah. Hey, how could I forget? I almost forgot. I can never forget. If you're able to support this show in a monetary fashion, we are also over. That's the professional way to say it, right? Hey, if you have a couple bucks and you're able to spare it in the holiday season or any season, we're also over on Ko-fi. Throw something in the tip jar, or for $5 a month, you can become one of our executive producers. Just like PigDan, Pabsy, Sonikku, SavingThrows, Belgarion, RatLiker63, Dr. Hate PhD, Sertoo, and Butterbeerhawk. And as I am required by law to say, you're all exceptionally smart, talented, and we all think you're really keen. And if you want to feel like you're also really keen, go ahead. Hey, it helps offset the costs of hosting and production, but if you're not able to, that's perfectly fine. We're just happy that you're here. And hey, tell your buddies, they're all welcome. Once again, yes, thank you, Ryan, for joining us on our year-end review, recap, reuse, recycle, reduce, read, reread, re-edit. Lots of R's. I don't know. Gotta thank Altsynth for the edit.
Thank you.
Thank you for stitching this together. I gotta thank Smoovies for the Rings of Saturn jingle. We play it, and we like it. Hey, and of course, thank you, Grant and Bo and Grant, for a mystical, magical 2025 experience from top to bottom, left to right, and start. I think, look, I've had a lot of fun this year with the two of you fellas, and also Ryan when you're here, but you're not here all the time, so you're only getting some of that thanks. But I am I am more than excited to see what 2026 has in store for us, for Sonic, for Sega, and maybe we'll finally get that Dreamcast too, right? That's what so, thanks for being here, and thanks for jamming.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Bo. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Altsynth. Bye.